Yo, this is Bob Styles, Coca King of the fucking city. You're watching Underworld Voices.
My dialogue one of one. My dialogue all plugs, bitches, and brothers that would never run. It took a minute for me to get it like a...
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with the first question. So what started your journey into music and creating, and what made you gravitate towards a specific genre and immerse yourself in?
All right. I was one of these kids that was always fanatical about music. All different types of shit, really. Like, when I was a kid, I was fucking like I would bring literally 30 CDs to school. I was that fucking kid. When people didn't even know what they liked, I was bringing 30 fucking gangster rap and fucking hardcore, weird metal CDs, all types of shit. I was really into counterculture, really kind of my whole life. And, at that time, gangster rap now I think is more widely accepted. Back then it was more counterculture, like mid to late 90s. But yeah, man, it was always something that was just in me, something that really interests me. My pops was really into music and kind of got me flowing into what like the taste of the day was type shit. Yeah, and what made me want to rap is just my obsession with it. It never started off yo, I'm about to get in the game, I'm about to get this money, I'm about to do something. No, it was just like, yo, I did it because I felt it, and then after feeling it is when things started to work out for me, you know what I mean?
Right. And how has being from New York influenced you as an artist and as a human being?
Shit, I don't even know if I could really answer that question just because it's just all I know, being from New York City, you're exposed to a lot of shit from a very early age. And besides that, I was always a kid that I never stayed in the crib. I never stayed in my neighborhood. I was always citywide. I always had a good scope of the whole city, back when kids was really just going to school and going home. I was always the type to be like, yo, let me hop on the train real quick. You know what I mean? Even if it's an hour away, let me hop on this train real quick. You know what I mean? Go see whoever I gotta see, do whatever I gotta do. So yeah, and obviously it's just the hustle and bustle and the attitude of it all. You know what I mean? It made me have a very kind of serene view of the world, while also keeping that aggressive nature with the shit too. So yeah, actually, to go back to what I said, maybe it was everything. You know what I mean? But yeah. Shout out New York City, man. Fuck all y'all saying the city's dead. That's just because y'all don't know where to be at. You know what I mean?
Cool, man. Yeah, so you just came back from Paris. How do you think that travel and experiencing different cultures can influence you as an artist?
I think it's extremely important, not only as an artist but also as a human. A lot of people kind of get stuck in their own bubble, myself included. It's hard not to, you know what I mean? But people get stuck in their own bubble of just knowing what to expect on a day-to-day basis. And I think kind of stepping out of your comfort zone gives you a better scope of who the fuck you are, really. It shows you how you can maneuver in different settings besides the ones you're used to. I've always, I've been a lot of places before, you know what I mean? So it's like going to Paris, it was my first time in Paris, but wherever I'm at, I kind of feel home at the same time, you know what I mean? You kind of just got to make it your home, get in the groove of that shit. Fucking don't be afraid to break the norm of what you do to be able to enjoy the place you at. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Paris was amazing, man. Paris was fucking amazing. And artist-wise, yeah, if you listen to my music, it's the concepts are very kind of abstract, you know what I mean? Not in a way of the mountains and the pyramids and shit like that, but you could kind of, from listening to my music, know that I know a thing or two about a thing or two, you know what I mean? So yeah, Paris was just adding to the list of beautiful fucking shit that I breathed in that I'm about to breathe back out to y'all.
Cool, man. So what were you up to out there?
Shit, seeing it. That's it, honestly, seeing it. I had a couple music things lined up, but it wasn't really a work trip. You know what I mean? I was with Shorty, I was with the homies, I was with his Shorty. We kind of just fucking saw the sights, ate the food, drank the wine, you know what I mean? Breathed the air, smacked a couple of berets off of people. You know what I mean? I had a couple homies I was out there. We went to the clubs and this and that, kind of moved around. Definitely did a couple music interviews and shit. Shout out to them, you know what I mean? It's always nice to go to another part of the world and just hear, wow, y'all really bumping my shit? Like, that's always a humbling, like, just really dope experience. But yeah, smacking berets, to answer your question.
Cool, man. So how do you feel about how hip hop has become popular and loved in almost every corner of the world? And did you see that in France in particular?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, you go to Europe, especially like Western Europe, you know, it's obviously very different from America, but it's also kind of very reminiscent of our lifestyle at the same time, especially in the big cities. So, you know, I wasn't surprised to see French people in Air Max 95s and Yankee caps and Supreme hoodies. Like, I kind of knew that's how it was going to be out there, you know what I mean? But I got to say, like, going to Tokyo, when I went to Tokyo, seeing the hip hop culture out there, like, they are so mathematical with their biting, not hating, because I fucking love them out there. They showed so much love. I love the city, I love the culture. But like, they so mathematical with and specific with picking up on what we do, that it was like, damn, y'all more me than me. Like, that shit was fucking crazy, you know what I'm saying? Just in the way they dress and the hip hop they listen to and just their kind of like, you know, swaggy, whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, going around the world and seeing that the world's a huge place, but also kind of a small place at the same time, you know, that'll really strike you, for sure.
Cool, man. So what was the inspiration and backstory behind you creating Chinatown Sounds?
Chinatown Sound, just like the rapping, it wasn't no like, yo, we about to do this. We about to, like, there was no like, yo, let's make this shit shake. We about to cash out. Yo, it was honestly, I've been locked in with G for many years. It's my brother. He's an amazing videographer. We've been working together for several years before we started Chinatown Sound. And one day I was just at his apartment. I've told this story before a few times, but I was at his apartment and he was just like, yo, let's just go outside and shoot a freestyle real quick. Bet. Did it, dropped it, like literally right after we shot it, he uploaded it, we dropped it. And it was just kind of this thing that I was like, damn, this shit look really fucking ill. Like, maybe this shit looked too ill for it to be just a one-off, you know what I mean? Then it was his idea, like, yo, let's do these Chinatown freestyles, because he lives in Chinatown, so we just literally ran right outside his apartment. But let's do these things. Let's start like a little thing called Chinatown Freestyles, a little mini-series. We'll get a few of the homies, 5, 6, 8 homies out here. And then we just did that, and then like the 8 turned to 10, the 10 turned to 20, the 20 turned to 300. And now we at like almost 500 episodes, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's surreal to see where it's gone, but it also just feels like nothing happened because we're both such fucking fans of this shit. And he's amazing at what he does. And I like to think I'm amazing at the coordination and what I do, like my roles in Chinatown Sound. So it's like, yeah, it feels like a lot of effort, but also effortless at the same time. And it's just really dope to see where it's gone and where it's about to go.
Where do you want Chinatown to go from here?
I see us as an all-encompassing media company. I think the freestyles is our bread and butter and it's our heart, but our soul is really in just giving dope exposure to dope artists and just creating dope content for dope artists. The freestyles will never stop, I don't think. The freestyles will never stop, but it's gonna be freestyles plus. And we already have done a few, like, we have a couple different like series where we're doing different types of shit, kind of album rollout pieces called Playback. We have Pirate Selection, which is our producer series. We have Soundscape, which is our kind of biography series, like biopic series. And it's just going to keep on expanding. It's just going to be something that's just, I think it's going to be a household name. And it's going to be somewhere where artists really just want to stop by because it just feels like a landmark more than it already is for a lot of artists. So that's where I see that shit going.
Cool, man. So what does, let me go to this question. So what's the most challenging part of the path you've chosen, and what's the most rewarding part?
I think this is a rough fucking city to move around, man. Just to bring it back to New York, I know I've said a lot about New York, but like, I think just physically and mentally, it's a really hard city to fucking maneuver. You know what I'm saying? While it has the ease of the subway system and, motherfuckers got cars and all types of shit, it's kind of just like, it's treacherous. It's also never ending. The second you open up one web of a community, that opens up another web, and that opens up another web, and they're all in the 5 boroughs. And it's kind of just, it's kind of fucking crazy once you get out here to realize how big the scene is, you know what I mean? But also, if you could kind of maneuver in this city and make yourself a star in your own right, you could kind of like maneuver. You already know how to move in other places. You know what I mean? But that's been a challenge for sure. The most rewarding is seeing motherfuckers that don't speak the language I speak, that don't live the life I live, that have never even thought about like trying to accomplish some of the stuff I accomplished really relate to me. And this is something that I get faced with all the time, and each time it's a little jarring, you know what I mean? Shout out the power of the internet and all that, you know what I mean? You could fucking make an impression to the world right on your fucking phone or in your living room. And yeah, that shit really just kind of like, every time somebody from the Philippines hits me, every time somebody from fucking Belarus hits me in some fucking broken English telling me how much they love me, I gotta read each line mad carefully to make sure I know what they saying type shit. Like, that shit is really fucking rewarding, you know what I mean? And makes you just want to see the world more, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about, damn, this motherfucker right there typing this shit to me? Like, but it's a dope feeling, man.
What does community mean to you? Being around like-minded people and creating, how does that nourish your soul?
It means everything to me, man. I've always been somebody who liked to connect dots in whatever way I could. I've always been somebody, even wrongfully so sometimes, that I'll vision something, I'll vision two things linking and do whatever I can to fucking, like selflessly a lot of the time, like try to fucking make sure that these two people are connected or these two movements are connected. So community is really big for me, man. I always came in this shit like kind of as a rapper, but also as like a community figure. You know what I mean? I'm not bigging myself up, nothing like that, but I booked shows for free from a fucking young age in my first couple of years rapping. Chinatown Sound is a perfect example. I threw parties. My Ramble Rap series is bringing in people that I fuck with that don't necessarily have, some of the listenership that other motherfuckers might expect me to bring in. But I've always been somebody who's like, yo, the more the fucking merrier, you know what I mean? Like, yo, if we all work together, we can make this shit more powerful than any of us individually. So let's collect, man. That shit nourishes my soul for sure, to just see motherfuckers kind of fucking manifesting each other's juice, pause, all that. But you know what I mean? I love shit like that. I think there's not enough of it in New York because it's kind of that crabs in a barrel type mind state. But like, I think at the end of the day, once we build the collective, we can collectively grow.
Cool, man. So what do you want your legacy to be?
I want to be somebody who was seen as advocating for being yourself, advocating for mixing your sense of humor with your with the other characteristics in your demeanor. Obviously, as one of the best vocalists and fucking storytellers in the rap space, with Chinatown Sound, I want somebody to say, yo, he did that when he ain't have to. You know what I mean? I think it's already shaping up to be something that is beyond my own imagination, really. But I think as I grow as a person and as an artist and as a community figure, that it's going to be undeniable, kind of my intentions at least. Maybe not my impact, but at least my intentions in this shit. So, yeah.
Cool, man. So finally, tell us about any projects, events, anything in the works you want people to know about.
Yeah, got a lot of music coming out. Just dropped Outerwear Season 5. We're kind of on the tail end of the rollout for that. Super dope album. I've loved the reception that it's been getting. I have something coming out very soon. I guess this is a premiere or whatever. It's called New York Minute. It's 10 one-minute songs with an accompanying storyboard of visuals. In the project, I got a project with dope producer Wino Willie coming out, to be titled. Kind of like maybe 3/4 done with that joint. Me and Chubbs, my man Chubbs, Chubby God, fucking super ill MC out of Suffolk County, Long Island. Me and him got an album produced by Gore-Tex. That's pretty much done. Me and my man AR-15, fucking Fleeman Marcus coming soon. Fucking just so much, man. It feels like I said all those things, and I know there's at least like 5 other things to shout out. I can't really think of it right now, but just know that there's a lot coming from me and my surroundings. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it, man. I appreciate your time.
Fire, hell yeah. I appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah, bro.